So now let us go back to our usual topic for today, the expected value. Majority of the slides are very self-explanatory, so there is no too much of writing today. So as you have already seen that expected value, which we also call it as mean, is represented with E of X. All right. So when you have E of X, this E of X, generally we say this is expectation of X. This is the way we read this. This is expectation of X, which also we call it as in general mean or average. But why we call this as expectation, that we will see in the upcoming slide. So whenever you are dealing with a discrete type of random variable, they are going to use this formula. So basically this is not f of x, this is actually p of x. I just make a correction here. Okay, this is a p of x, because whenever we have discrete, we always use p of x. Whenever we have a continuous category, we will use f of x. So whenever you have continuous data, the expectation or the mean will be calculated with the integration sign like this, from minus infinity to positive infinity, x into f of x. Straightforward formula. Okay, what is the expected value of random variable means about? So as I have told you, it is nothing but the mean of random variable x. But the major importance of expectation of any random variable is to check whether we expect that random variable to behave on an average over the long run. Okay, for example, if you are doing a experiment of tossing a coin, and if you find the mean of getting head of tossing a coin 2 times, then if you do the same experiment for let's say 1000, 10,000 and long run, so what is the number of head you will get on an average? That is what we talk about the expectation here. This is another word called weighted average. Somebody will call this as a weighted average, but we will only speak in terms of expectation, E of X. Okay, so the two things you have to remember here, that you have to talk this as an average. Expected value is nothing but the average of the mean. All right, and it also how we expect the x, the random variable x, to behave on long run. Okay, so how this will work on a long run, this is what you have to show. So basically we call it as frequencies in long run. This is what we talk about. All right, so let's go to the next part. Okay. Fine. So this is a very basic example. Assuming that one fair coin was tossed twice, as I was speaking earlier, we find that the sample space for our experiment with x associated with no number of head. We have already seen this majority of the time. So this is a sample space of tossing a coin 2 times. And you can see that x is a random variable associated with number of head appears. So the range of x will be 0, 1 or 2. Maximum you can have only 2 head. The corresponding probability I have already highlighted here. Okay, this is the expected probability. No head means 1 by 4 is the probability, 1 is 1 by 2. This is already we have discussed long enough. Now the important part is for me to find the mean of this data. So what is the mean of this data? It is summation of x into p of x. So x into p of x I have written here 0 into 1 by 4. 0 into 1 by 4 is 0. 1 into 1 by 2 is 1 by 2. And 2 into 1 by 4 is 2 by 4. So when you add all this, when you do the summation, you will get exactly 1. So what this means that? What this is going to mean? This means that A person who toss two coin over and over and over and again and again for so many number of times, on an average, he will get one head per toss. This is what the expectation of random variable x means about. That if x is a random variable of number of head and we have got the mean value as 1, this says that the person who do the same experiment of tossing a coin again and again, so on an average he will get one head per toss. This is what it represents. This is what we call it as an expectation of a any random variable x. Okay, let's go on to the next very important, interesting example. This I have uh, taken from one of the IS examination, long, I don't know, I think 2004 or 5 maybe, I didn't remember. So just read the question. If you buy one 10 raffle ticket, a raffle ticket is something like a lottery ticket of $10 for a new car value, $15,000. Okay, so question you understand it very carefully that you have buy one lottery ticket of $10 and the price is a new car and the car price is 15,000. This is what they mean about. So now 2,000 tickets are sold. Then what is the expected value of your gain? They are talking about the expected value of your gain. So how can you answer this question? So definitely I'm talking about the gain and the loss. So let me put this table. Okay. So winning and losing both have put here. So to avoid the confusion, let me take laser point. Okay. Winning and losing are the 2 points which I'm focusing here. So gain I have taken the random variable x associated with the gain because I have to find the expected value of gain only. So gain I have taken as x and the corresponding probability is how I have calculated, I will tell you. So you can see that the ticket cost is $10, which is actually directly talking in terms of car price also. So if you have already spent $10, then you have remaining amount is 14,990, which will if you win that. Anyway, you have lost $10, but still you can win $14,990, and the amount you have lost is $10. That is why I have put minus 10 here. I cannot put plus 10. It is minus 10 because the money has lose $10 you have spent. So what is the probability of X? So there are 2,000 tickets which is sold. Okay, so your winning will be 1 out of 2,000 only because you have taken one ticket. So if you have to win, you have to win in one chance out of 2,000 tickets only. All right, this is your winning probability. Whereas your losing probability will be, apart from the first ticket which has you have purchased, the remaining 999 ticket somebody else will take out of 2,000 will be your probability of losing. I think this concept is clear. How I have written the probability. Okay, so 14,990 is the winning, even though you have spent $10. So the probability of winning will be 1 out of 2,000 tickets sold, and the losing will be remaining 1999 tickets out of 2,000. So you can see that your probability of winning is very less compared to winning of loss. It is obviously. So now because I'm finding the expected value of gain, so here only have taken the table of x into p of x into picture. So I have multiplied x with the probability, and this is the value which I have got 7.495. You can calculate it. And similarly here also I have taken minus 10 into 0.995 is minus 9.95. Don't confuse it in minus negativity whenever you have to talk about winning or losing. So whenever you have lose something, you have to put negative sign. All right. Okay. So now let us find the expected value of our gain. What we can see here, the summation of these two 7.495 it's not plus now anymore because it is minus 9.95. So this plus this becomes minus 2.5. So now you can see here that the expected gain is actually a loss of $2.50 approximately. All right. So you have not gain. Gain means what? You have already spent $10 and you're losing $2.50. Okay. But no, I will put this question in a broader way. This question I have framed, which is the one step ahead from this. So I have added two more products in this case. So scenario same thing. Again, if you purchase a $10 ticket, now 200 tickets are sold. I have reduced the amount of tickets sold from 2000 to 200. Okay, and as well as a car. What this means is, what if you purchase a $10 ticket, 200 tickets are sold, and as well as a car, and you have a runner-up prize of CD player and luggage set. Now two more prizes I have added up. Okay, so let us see what this table gives us. So again, we have the concept of winning and losing, and we are still in the interesting stage of finding the expectation or expected value of our gain for this particular scenario. Now car was there earlier stage. Now I have added two more product as a price, which is CD player and luggage with their respected cost. $10 we can add each. So I have taken some random cost for CD player and luggage. Car price I was knowing earlier, so I have taken the same price. Okay. So what is your gain? Your gain will be 14,990, but car price is 15,000. Similarly here, the winning of CD player will be 110 actually, but $10 you have spent, so the remaining with $100. The winning for luggage set will be $210, but 10 you have already spent, so I have written 200. Okay, so the actual cost of actual price of car is 1500, 1110, and 210. Actually, that I have not written in the question. This is understood now. All right. Okay, now let us find the probability of each state now. So the winning of car will be now 1 out of 200 because now you have 200 tickets are sold. So winning of car, if you have taken one ticket only, is 1 by 200. This is also 1 by 200 and this is also 1 by 200. Now 3 tickets you already purchased. The remaining tickets is left is 9197. So if you lose, you will lose 197 tickets out of 200. Okay. So you can calculate the probabilities of which I have not written in decimal numbers. So I want to find the expected value of my gain. So I have written x into p of x in this table, 7.45, 0.51, and because it is minus 10, one second. No, won't be CD player and luggage be 1 by 199. No. It is not 1 by 99 tickets. The reason here is that, Abhiram, that you have, one second, I will just open the laser point. Okay. Now here you have three products. Okay. If you purchase a 10 ticket, if you have purchased a $10 ticket, but I have not mentioned that you have purchased one ticket because you have three prices. So you have purchased three tickets. Got the question? You have purchased the three tickets. For three tickets, you have spent $30 actually. Yeah, got it. So you have purchased three tickets basically. One ticket for car, one ticket for CD player, one ticket for luggage. Okay. Yeah. Huh. why will we deduct 10, 10 from all? Can't we divide the spending among all the three? No, 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 no. I think you are not understanding the point here. How can I say? Okay, one second. Let me put in this manner. See, you have spent a $10 only. Understand it here. You have spent a $10 ticket only. It is not a practical scenario. In that 10 ticket dollar, you have got 3 tickets. So basically what this means is that Abhiram earlier I have said 30. No, no. In 10 ticket dollar itself, you have got 3 tickets. Your lose is $10 only, not 30. Because you have spent only $10 because I have mentioned here minus 10. If I put minus 30, then yes, you have taken 3 ticket of $10. But in this case, no. $10 ticket only you have purchased, which has 3 prices of these cost. Got it, Kritika? Am I clear? Yeah. Your spend is whatever your expenditure from your pocket is only $10. This is your expectation. Sorry, your spend. That's it. One sec. But which ticket will win car won't win the luggage set and CD player. They are equally likely to win. They are equally likely to win. They are not independent. They are not dependents. They are not dependent. They have all equal like chance of winning. If the winning is 1 by 200, 1 out of 200, then that will be same for car, that will be same for luggage, and that will be same for CD player. They are all equally likely to happen. So it is not that which ticket will win car. I'm not interested in that part. I have spent $10, and I want to say what is my expected gain. Either I can win car or CD player or luggage, doesn't matter. In this case, it doesn't matter. Either I can get car, CD player, or luggage. If I get car, good. If I get CD player, good. I'm talking about overall gain. So it's a different scenario. All right. So the probabilities are all equally likely to happen out of 200, and the losing of probability is 127 by 200. So when you calculate x into p of x, you will get these values. And what is the expectation? Let us check. Your expectation is coming around minus 0.9. Your earlier expectation was minus 2.5, where only one product was there as a car. Now, in the same amount, if the 3 products were added up, then your winning has been reduced actually. You can see earlier it was $2.5. Now it has got reduced to $9. It means if your number of product if you have increased and for the same amount, your gain will also have equal chance of increasing. But still there is a loss because still it is 90 cent. You have lost it. So again, the expectation gain is actually a loss, but it is comparatively less than the previous scenario. So this is how I just given the comparison. Spent was same $10 and $10, but here only one product was to win, but here you have 3 products to win. All right. The cost I have put randomly. You put any other cost. If you take the real world scenario, then you will also get approximately very close to 90% or 95% of expectation. Anyway, let's go to the next part. So you will note now that because you have 3 prizes, you have 3 chances of winning actually. And yes, we have 1, 2, and 3 chances of winning. So your chance of losing decreases to 197 by 200. 197 by 200 is actually close to 0.9. You can check it out. So that is I have written here in the same scenario of losing, that your chance of losing will decrease to 197 by 200 because you have 3 chance of winning in this case. Anyway, let's go to the next part. This is an example of repair cost of a particular machine, which are represented by the following probability distribution. Distribution I have only given. So this is a distribution given to you. So X in rupees, 50 rupees, 200 and 350, and probability of corresponding X is also given. So what we have to find in this case is, what is the expected value of the repairs? What is the expected value of repair? So what I mean by that is, over time, what do we expect repairs to cost on an average? Because you are finding the expected on X only. Whenever you find the expectation, you always find the expectation on random variable X. So what is your expectation of repair cost on an average? That we have to find. So how will find that? Same procedure, so I will not waste too much time in this case. 50 into 0.3 plus 200 into 0.2 and 350 into 0.5. So your expected repair cost on an average is 230 in a long run. All right. Self-explanatory, nothing much in this. Yeah, very interesting problem. Okay, this problem I was actually not given for expectation. This problem is from GATE 2016, but I have converted this problem to an expectation value. Basically, there we were finding only the probabilities, but let's see what it says. A lot containing 7 components is sampled by a quality inspector. Some quality inspector is there and he has checked the lot which contains 7 components, some components. The lot contains 4 good components and 3 defective components. All right. So I think I need to write few things here. Okay, I'll just, okay. So there are 3 out of 7. There are 3 defective and 4 good. So this is defective and 4 good. Now, if a sample of 3 has to be taken, in every sample, if 3 element means 3 component has to be there, then what is the expectation? Anyway, I'm talking about expected value of number of good components in the sample. Okay, so what are the possible ways we can find the probability of having 3 components? In general, we have seen these examples quite earlier as well. Okay, anyway, your total possible ways is 7C3, because you can select 3 out of 7 component, but we are interested in selecting 3 component which is defective or good. Which is defective or good. Read, no? Good components. I'm talking about good components only. So it means the possible ways are that you choose 3 good components and you already taken 3, so you have no option left, so it will be 3C0. Another possibility is that you can take 2 good and 1 from the defective out of 7C3. One more possibility is that you can choose 1 defective and 1 good and 2 from defective out of 7C3. And one more scenario, you will get that no good and all the 3 are selected from the defective product out of 7C3. These are the only possibility of taking the sample, taking a sample of 3 components. Okay, so 4C3 means 3 components are good. In this lot, you have two good component and 1 defective component. In this lot, you have 1 defective component and 1 good component and 2 defective component. And the last lot, you have 0 good component and 3 defective components, which anyway all put together give me 3 components. So what is the probability density function now I can write in general by looking at this scenario? Guys, you have to understand this, because from here onwards, if you know the basic of writing the sample spaces, always have the habit of writing the density functions, whether it may be discrete or continuous, in a general form rather than writing in this much of complex form. This is for your understanding part. You can do it roughly, but the p of x is now can be defined in C here. If I take x as a random variable for component, so the possibilities are all 4C3 or 3C something. Don't worry about this particular part. Okay, so if it is 4CX, the next component will be 3C. Can you tell me now what I should write here in terms of x? Can we write this as 3 minus x out of 7C3? You put any value here. P of x is for 3 components. This is for 3 components only I'm talking about, but I have written in general. If you take 4C3, then you will get 3C0, this lot. If you take 4C2, then you will get 3C3 minus 2, which is 3C1. If you take x value as 1, then you will get 3C, 3 minus of 1, which is 2. If you take 4C0, then you will get 3C3. So this whole picture is now put in the general form. So now this is my probability density function for above problem. Is that clear? One second, I will unmute you. Yeah. Someone has raised the hand. Someone has raised the hand. So what is the expectation here? 1.7. What is the expectation means that if a sample of size 3 is selected at random over and over and again from a lot of 4 good component, 3 defective, it will contain on an average of 1.7 good components. Because whenever we speak about expectation, we always speak about the long term, means over and over and again. This is what it means. So this is all examples of discrete type. Let us quickly see one example of continuous category. In continuous category, we have f of s given already. So I'm interested to find the expected life of the device. So let x be the random variable, denotes the life in hour of certain electronic device. Okay. So what is the expectation or expected life of this device in long run? So for this, the formula is different because it is continuous category. So in continuous category, What is the formula? Let us quickly see the formula once again. Minus infinity to positive infinity, x into f of x. This is the formula. So same formula, because it is minus infinity to positive infinity, but here the range is given from greater than 100. So it will not start from 100, so it will be 100 to infinity. X into f of x. Whatever the f of x given, just I have written this here, and simple integration, nothing else. If you integrate this, you will get exactly 200. So what this means, we can expect this type of device to last on an average of 200 hours in the long run, maybe in a year. Okay, that may be more suitable to say. All right. This example I will just leave it to you. It is some vacuum cleaner problem. Okay, so I want to find the similar to this. What is the expected number of operation annually? Means in a year, what is the number of time this vacuum cleaner will work properly? This is what it means. So I will just quickly go through with this. So the ranges is given from 0 to 1. So it is 0 to 1. X into f of x. So x into x become x square. Don't forget this. Now from 1 to 2 range, x into 2 minus x into dx. Only this is the limits given. Rest all other values, your limit value of integration is 0. So when you solve this, you will get 100 hours approximately annually. So this is the expectation. Now, in this case, now I am having one more function called g of x. If x is the random variable with probability distribution f of x or p of x, whatever, the variance of the random variable, now I'm talking about the variance here of random variable is, what is the variance? Actually, I'm not talking about variance here, I'm talking about expectation only. This is a mistake here. I will correct this later. But here I'm talking about expectation only. So what is the expectation of the random variable g of x? So you have two functions here. So the expectation will be calculated by this formula, straight away formula, no derivation at all. So this is the actual formula for finding the expectation of x, which is the mean of gx. Okay, g of x is some other random variable. So g of x and then multiply with p of x, whatever the probability function given to you. If you calculate, you will get the mean. If it is continuous category, formula is very much similar to this. The only change is that apart from summation, you have integration from minus infinity to positive infinity. Whenever you will see the word continuous, automatically you have to put integration minus infinity to positive blindly. And then whatever the formula you have for discrete, same will come for continuous also. Just change p of x to f of x. That's all. So this is the formula where x is a random variable with probability p of x. The expected value of random variable g of x is calculated by this. This particular term will be given to you in the problem. We will see one example quickly. Let us see this. Suppose that a number of car X, some car that pass through a car wash between 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So on a sunny Friday has the following probability distribution. This probability distribution I have given directly. Okay, so number of car means let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 car has been passed through the car wash between 4 to 5, and the respective probability also have calculated and written here, which is 1 by 12, 1 by 12, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 6, and 1 by 6. So how I have calculated this problem is because data I have not given, I just given you the table. Okay, I'm sorry. So now g of x was the another random variable I have given to you, which is associated with the amount of money paid in dollars. I've written dollars. Okay, so g of x is the random variable which represents the amount of money in dollars paid to the attendant by the manager. So what is g of x means? If suppose 4 car comes between 4 to 5, then the amount which manager has to pay is 2 into 4, 8 minus 1. So how much? 8 minus 1, $7. So $7 for 4 cars. Similarly, if 5 car comes for a car wash, the money manager has to pay is 2 into 5, 10 minus 1. So $9 for 5 car and so on. So this is some expression which represent the random variable only associated with the money paid to the attendant by the manager. Now I am interested to find the attendant's expected earnings for this particular time period. So between 4 to 5 p.m. in long run, okay, what is his average earning? So because this is a discrete data, all values are discrete. So I will use which formula? The first formula. This formula I have to apply. So to apply this formula, first I have to calculate E of G of X. And you already know how to find E of X. That is summation of X into P of X. Similarly, just replace X with G of X. So that will become summation of G of X into P of X. This is what I have written here. Simple concept. Okay. So let us apply this formula. So expectation of G of X will be E of 2x minus 1 because this is the expression given. Okay. This is the expression. This is the G of X given to us. So X ranges from 4 to 9. So this will be G of X multiplied with P of X. So just put the value of X equal to 4. So you will get 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 and 17. So 7 is for 4, 9 is for 5, 11 is for 6 and so on. And then multiply with the corresponding P of X. So you can see that average expected earning of the attendant is approximately coming as $12.67. $12.67, okay, approximately. In a long run, between this time period only. Okay. This is for discrete, this is for continuous. Let us quickly see the continuous. Also one problem. Here also I have given you G of X. Okay, so if random variable f of x is given to you, G of x is given to you. So which formula you have to apply? Second formula. This formula you have to apply, in which just remove the summation and put integration. Rest all the terms are same. So let us quickly see. So expectation of 4x plus 3 will become, it is from minus infinity to positive infinity in the formula, but here the range is given between -1 to 2. So you have to take -1 to 2 only. Then 4x plus 3 is your G of X. Multiply with this term is nothing but your G of f of x written here. So I multiplied G of x into f of x. Simple integration, 1 by 3 will come out. Multiply x inside and integrate, you will get exactly 8. So the expected value of this density function is 8 approximately. So now we are done with the mean. Now let us talk about the variance. The only two formulas you have to remember for variance. For discrete this one and for continuous. This one already have told you in the previous slide what is the variance formula. So which is nothing but summation of x minus mu into p of x. I have already told you this. But in terms of expectation, I always prefer to write this formula. So whenever I ask you to find expectation of variance, so you have to apply the straight away this formula, e of x square minus mu square. Okay, and how to calculate? You know about e of x. You know about e of x. I will tell you what is e of x square means about. These two are different. E of x is different. E of x is mean. E of x square has different meaning that we will see in upcoming slide. Okay. Now for continuous category, just put integration from minus infinity to positive. Rest all the formula is same. Okay. And the standard deviation, you already know that once you have got the variance, then standard deviation is what? Square root of variance. But what is the importance of standard deviation? Can anyone tell me what is the importance of standard deviation? Why we have to calculate standard deviation? I just want to know. If anyone? In simple words, if I just put, okay, someone has given me answer, let me check. Difference of mean from the remaining data. Yes, very good. In more simple way, if you have any data, okay, I'm just plotting some graph. Okay, just I have, let me rub this part here. Okay, so okay, and let me take another color. Let's say I have two graphs like this. So can you tell me which red color or yellow color? Red color has huge standard deviation value, or yellow color is having huge standard deviation value. You have two standard deviation values here. I'm not bothered about the value. Okay, so which is huge? Does yellow one is larger value or the red one? Data, red one. Large value is red one. You have already given me the answer, Abhinav. Difference of mean from the remaining data. You have given me the answer. So mean lies where? In the center, no? Mean lies somewhere in center, no? So if it is a difference from the mean, so the difference of mean from red one is more, or difference of mean for the yellow one is more? Now tell me. Tell me, Abhinav. Difference. Difference of the data set for the red one is more. So then definitely the standard deviation value of yellow one is less, na? And this is more. So what this graph tells you about, how much the standard deviation value is less, that much peak you will get, means you will get very nicely bell curve shape. So and if the standard deviation is very huge, then the data set is very spread means spread everywhere like this, because it has a huge difference from the mean. So standard deviation should be preferably be very, very small. So that is why standard deviation is very important concept whenever we talk about data visualization. Let us take one example quickly. Let the random variable x represent the number of defective parts from a machine. When 3 parts are sampled from a product line and tested, the following is the probability distribution. Calculate the variance. That's all. So what is the formula of variance? Once again, we can recall that. I put everything in tabular form just to explain you. So first, change the color. Okay. If you just look at the formula of variance, E of x square minus mu whole square, and mu is nothing but the mean. So to find the variance, you first find the mean. You have to find the mean, and you know how to find mean. That is summation of x into p of x. So very straightforward calculation I've written here. So 0 into this is 0, 1.38, 2 into 0.1, and then if you add all this, you will get the mean value as 0.61. So this part we have done it. Now, if you see here, I have added one column called as x square. Why it is so? Because whenever you want to find E of x square, please understand it here. Whenever you want to find a value of E of x square, you have to square the x values. You have to first square the x values, because the formula for E of x square will be summation of x square into p of x. If E of x is x into p of x, then x square will become x square into p of x. That is the only difference. I once again repeat, if E of x is x into p of x with summation, then definitely E of x square, if you want to find, you have to square the x values and then multiply with p of x. This is what it means. So I have calculated the x square first. So 0 square is 0, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, and 3 square is 9. And then you have to sum with p of x. So now 0 into 0.51 is 0, 1 into 0.38 is 0.38, 4 into 0.1 is 0.4, 0.09 into 9 into 0.01 is 0.09. So when you add all this, you will get the value as 0.87. And then you can put the variance formula, E of x square minus of mu square. So this is 0.87 minus mean square, which is 0.61 whole square. So this is the variance. So if you want to find the standard deviation of this to check the difference between mean and the data, you have to just take the square root of 0.4979 and you can check it out. I have not done this. You can check it out. This is for discrete. Let us quickly check the formula for continuous random variable. F of x is given to you. You have to find the variance. So how to find the variance? Same formula, but in place of summation, you have to put integration from minus infinity to positive infinity. Straightforward. So first I am calculating E of x and E of x square as we have done it here also, you can see. So how you calculate E of x? Range is given between 1 to 2. Range is given between 1 to 2. This is your f of x. So 1 to 2, 2 times x minus 1, and you have to multiply with x also. X into f of x, right? This is the formula. This is the E of x. Same formula applied, you will get 5 by 3. So in discrete, in continuous category, how you will calculate x square? Same way, minus infinity to positive infinity. In place of x, you will have to just multiply x square. As I multiplied x square in place of here also have to multiply with x square into f of x. So you can see x square multiply with f of x, you will get the value 17/6. So now the same formula, e of x square, variance is equal to e of x square minus mu square. Same formula we applied here. So this is 17/6 minus mu whole square is 5/3 whole square, which is 25/9, which is equal to 1/18 approximately. Okay. So this is the self-explanatory. Some few more examples I have given. You can just quickly go through this. Similar problems. Okay. This problem also I have taken from an IAS book. So let us take this problem and then I will wind up, because rest all the problems are very self-explanatory. You can check it out. By investing a particular stock, a person can take a profit in a given year of rupees 4,000 with a probability of 0.3, or take a loss of 1,000 with probability of 0.7. What are the variance and standard deviation of the investor's gain on a stock? I am finding the variance and standard deviation here. So anyway, when I'm talking about variance, I have to find expectation. So before I go ahead, let us see the table. I've already taken the table of winning and loss. Similar concept we have seen previously. So if I take an x in rupees, so win is 4,000 and loss is minus 1,000 rupees. And p of x they already given, 0.3 is for winning, and if we lose, we'll get 0.7. So now you can see the variance. This is a discrete type of data. So same formula I have applied here, x square p of x minus mu square. X square I have calculated. This square and this square, because it is minus 1,000, so when you square it become plus. So x square px I have calculated, and the final answer, you can see that variance I'm getting approximately 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000 lakh, 10 lakh, approximately 52 lakhs, 50,000 rupees of variance, and the standard deviation is 2,291.29 rupees. Okay, let me check, is it correct? 52,050. Okay, 2291.2, correct. Simple example. This is some more example I have given. You can just go through this. So as we have spoken about random variable g of x for expectation, same we can apply for even variance as well by this formula. So only difference here is that you have expectation of g of x minus of mean of whole square, and this is the formula for continuous category where you have minus infinity to positive infinity. So this formula is for variance, and previously we have seen for expectation. So quickly one problem and then we're done. Calculate the variance of g of x is given. You have to calculate the variance of this, where x is the random variable and probability distribution is given in this manner. So in only when you find the variance, you have to first remember that you have to first calculate e of g of x. Okay, because see here, you have expectation of g of x minus mu g of x. So this mu g of x you have to find first. This is nothing but your expectation of g of x. Wherever mean means this is expectation of g of x. This I am finding first. So you know this formula we have seen previous slide. So simple formula g of x into p of x for x 0 to 3. You will get 6. Now you calculate the variance. So put the values in this formula. Okay, and then multiply with p of x. So now you can see that e of g of x is 2x plus 3 given to us, minus this value we have already got 6 mean value, and then whole square. Don't put 6 square, it is whole square. This is completely whole square, and then multiply with p of x. So 3 minus 6 become minus 3. So a minus b whole square if you apply, you will get a square plus b square minus 2ab into p of x. Okay, so p of x already you have. So I just forget to write the summation here. You have to put summation as well. Now here you won't get summation. Okay, so summation of different x values, you will get different values here. For example, if you put x equal to 0, you will get 4 into 0 plus 9 minus 12 into 0 and so on. If you calculate, you will get the variance value as 4. Similar problem I have given for continuous category. You can just go through, that is very self-explanatory, nothing much in this. The only change is that you have minus infinity to positive infinity. Okay, so I will stop it here for today.